Hi, this is Ron Martinson of ronmartinblog.com, and I'm here today to do a quick visual comparison of three very excellent wide-angle lenses. The first is the Canon 11-24 fixed aperture f4 L lens. The middle one here is the well-known 16-35 millimeter f2.8 L2, and then a really lens getting a lot of attention these days is this new one from Tamron that's called the 15-30, and this is a fixed 2.8 aperture, and it also features vibration reduction, so image stabilization. And so these are all three very interesting lenses, but very different. And I'll talk more about the lens image quality on my review, but here I just want to go over the physical size of it, because this is already a fairly big lens, and you can tell that next to these two lenses that it's really kind of dwarfed by them, and these are really big, heavy lenses. So I'm going to go ahead and put this aside for a moment. And actually, let me mention one thing. The interesting thing about this is it covers a nice range of 16-35, but some people want to go a little bit wider. And so, the 11-24 addresses that need. However, it's a fixed f4 aperture, whereas the 2.8, some people really like that shallow depth of field, and Tamron's offered a product here that has that. It's fixed f2.8, so there's an advantage over this one in the sense it's a fixed f2.8. However, it comes at the expense of not having quite the wide range of this one. This is 11-24, this is 15-30. So these two are more comparable in their range. However, this guy adds vibration control over this one. So let's go ahead and show you what they're like mounted on. So if I take this off, you'll notice in the back of the Canon there's a filter holder. That's really useful. So wide angles with these big arched final elements do not easily take filters. So that's something this offers. As you can see, there's actually a smudge on here, and I actually left that on purpose because you have something that's so big and rounded, and I'm not sure how well you can see that it's really easy to bump it. So this is a lens that when you're out in the field, you really need to pay attention and keep lens cleaning cloth handy to wipe off those kind of marks, because they happen fairly often. And because you can get so close to your subject, it's really not uncommon to find yourself bumping into something accidentally when you're dealing with 11 millimeters. The hood offers some level of protection, but because it goes so wide, you can see it's pretty much even with the lens here, so it's definitely very exposed compared to your traditional lens. This is a very heavy lens. It's I think over 3 pounds, so definitely keep that in mind. This thing feels like a feather after handling this big heavy behemoth, and there's no image stabilization, so it does one-handed it gets to be very difficult and challenging. So you do sometimes have to pick up a little bit faster shutter speeds than you might ordinarily would, because I find myself sometimes with a wide angle, especially when dealing with things like flowers or trying to get unique perspectives, that I'll have to one-handed hold the camera, and that puts a lot of strain, especially if you're using a big pro body like a 1DX like I do. So keep the weight in mind when deciding whether to toss out your old 16-35, and some people may want to actually consider keeping both, depending on their needs. Now for the Tamron, this is a well designed lens, similar to the Canon. It has this big cup style lens cap, It has a much easier design. It's just slides instead of any pinch locking mechanism. And at first I thought that'd be a problem, but actually in the field I'm finding it to work great and really prefer it over the pinch lock design. Again, it has the really bulb type of element, but because it doesn't go to 11 millimeters, it is a little bit more recessed and protected in there. And then you have your switches for automatic focus and the vibration control. And so, other than that, they're pretty similar in size. Of course, being 11 millimeter, this is much wider, and so or larger diameter, and so it's not exactly same in size, but weight-wise, they're pretty close. I think feels like it's probably got like about an extra pound on it. But they're both very heavy lenses compared to this one. This feels like a feather, compared to these two. I do find that the 11-24 is significantly faster focusing and has what feels to me like a much better minimum focus distance, and so that's a big deal. But I'll talk more about the image quality and the lens features on my written review. So check that out. Thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you on my vlog.